Holy habitation. You know what Adam lost back here? This piece of land. It's no coincidence that he says he planted a garden eastward in Eden. And he put the man there. And he told the man to dress it and to keep it. And the man promptly turned around and says, "Here, Satan, you can have this." He gave it up, didn't he? So God starts off, he starts off with another people, a nation. As a matter of fact, and he said, "This is my," he called Israel in another chapter, another book, he said, "my servant." Israel's my servant, just like Adam was. And he takes these people, he redeems them out of bondage. And he says, "I'm going to take them and I'm going to put you in my" what? Verse 13. My what? What's making it holy?
The habitation?
What's making it holy?
What's making it God?
God.
God, okay.
He says, I'm going to be there.
Okay.
He says, remember the verse? He says, "I'll be their God, and they will be my people, and I will dwell among them." He says, holy habitation. The people shall hear and be afraid. Sorrow shall take hold upon the inhabitants of Philistia. Then the dukes of Edom shall be amazed. The mighty men of Moab, trembling, shall take hold upon them. All the inhabitants of Canaan shall melt away. Canaan? That sound familiar, huh? Fear and dread shall fall upon them by the greatness of thine arm. They shall be as still as stone, till thy people pass over, O Lord, till the people pass over which thou hast purchased. He redeemed those people. He bought those people back. He recovered those people for himself. Thou shalt bring them in and plant them in the mountain of thine inheritance, in the place, O Lord, which thou hast made what? For thee to dwell in. The sanctuary, O Lord, which thy hands have established. The Lord shall reign forever and ever. So, you know what? And this is the basis where those Jews, you know what? God was going to recover what was lost through that kingdom. He was going to reestablish that kingdom that Adam lost. Adam sold it through sin, through disobedience. And God is in the recovery process, the redeeming process, the buying back process. He's got to buy it back from who?
Satan.
From Satan.
God of this world.
The God of this world, right. Matter of fact, since she said that, look at Matthew chapter 4. And we'll get to us in a minute, but what, you know, Israel, they didn't get it done, did they?
No.
They fell into idolatry and went right back into bondage. Because, we just talked about it, because they weren't what?
Set apart.
They weren't qualified. You just hit a bunch of people who were sinners, right? They couldn't do it themselves because they weren't able to do it. They had a redemption deficit. They couldn't redeem anybody else because they couldn't redeem themselves. So keep that in mind. That's Matthew. I said Matthew, chapter 4. And when the Lord shows up, it's a little interesting encounter takes place. Matthew 4, verse 1. Matthew 4, verse 1. Then was Jesus led up, this is after his baptism. Then was Jesus led up of the Spirit into the wilderness to be what?
Tempted.
Tempted of
The devil.
That's kind of strange, isn't it?
Yep.
The Lord tempted no man, or neither can he be tempted.
By no man.
devil's not a man,
Man,
but
right.
here's the devil doing what?
It's him.
Tempting him.
Doing the devil's work.
Doing the devil's work. And
Yeah.
he takes him up into this mountain.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? To tempt him, he's really, you know what? To try him.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like, you ever seen those? Maybe something happened where maybe you get into a fight, or somebody you see you get into a fight, and they just kind of size each other up.
Mm-hmm.
Like they kind of walk around and they kind of look at him. I can see the devil doing that. I can see him. He's got Jesus there, and I can see him walking around. I'm like, you him, huh?
Mm-hmm.
You the one?
Mm-hmm.
You the one that's to buy him back? He's beat everybody, right?
Mm-hmm.
He beat Adam, Noah, Abraham, Moses, David, Solomon, down the line.
Yep.
Next up, here comes the Lord. And he says, yeah, okay. And he kind of sizes them up, and he sizes them up, and we're not going to get into this passage, but he asks them some questions. He poses some things to them to see if he would pass the test. And he did. And in verse 10, he says, Then Jesus says unto him, Get thee hence, Satan, for it is written, Thou shalt worship the Lord thy God, and him only shalt thou serve. Then the devil leaveth him, and behold, angels came and ministered unto him. Now before he does that, and I think Karen mentioned it, the devil makes a statement to him. In verse 8. The devil taketh him up into an exceeding high mountain, and showeth him all the kingdoms of the world and the glory of them. All the what?
Kingdoms.
And showeth them unto him. And showeth him the glory of them. And he saith unto him, All these things will I what?
Give thee.
If thou...
Will fall down and worship me.
Okay. Well, if he says, All these things I'll give thee, that means what?
He had ownership of them.
He had something to give.
Yeah.
He didn't have something to give. He had what?
All.
He had all of them to give. How did he get them?
Adam.
Stole.
Yeah.
He stole them.
Yeah.
Well,
From Adam, like he said, Adam.
they were given to him.
Yeah, he
And notice the Lord didn't say, You have no power except... He didn't even argue with them, did he?
No.
Because he knew they were his.
Mm-hmm.
He had become... Look at Jeremiah. Jeremiah 35. Jeremiah 31. But we know, well, we'll get to that in a minute. Jeremiah 31, verse 10. 31:10. Hear the word of the Lord, O ye nations, and declare it in the isles afar off, and say, He that scattered Israel will what? Gather him, and keep him as a shepherd doth his flock. For the Lord hath what? Redeemed Jacob, and ransomed him from the what?
Hand of him that was stronger than he.
Who was the hand of him that was stronger than Jacob? It was Satan.
Mm-hmm.
He had the nation in the chokehold. He had the world in the chokehold. In Ephesians, Paul said that Satan is the god of this what?
World.
2 Corinthians, I'm sorry. He says Satan is the god of this world.